There's been some dimension enhancement. This started, I believe, in 1102, but for the sake of speaking today, I'm going to say NX12 for sure has this already baked into it. So you have your preferences for whole circle cutouts, your baseline preferences for ordinate dimensions that you need to show the 0 of where that ordinate dimension is starting, and then some angular dimension directions that you can select. In the past, that wasn't possible. So those are in there, and it makes it more flexible than it has in the past. If you're dealing with part families, you do have the option to toggle on dimensions that are going to be showing up in the part of the part family. So you could do that by either turning it off in the model view, or you can use an expression to control how that's being turned on and off in each one of those parts that are being pushed out into your system. So you have greater control over how that's being displayed for the end users. They do have enhancements in for locking down your text. So that's parallel to the orientation of the view that you're currently in. So typically you have your can views, top, right, left, and so on. But you can also turn on so that's parallel to the orientation of how you're looking at the display. So once you rotate it, I'll show you here in a second how that works, but you do have more control on how that looks. And the only reason I think you could probably ever use that, jumping back over into NX here, is maybe if you're doing a tech manual and you just need to rotate the view a little bit, maybe you want the table or PMI information to be parallel to however that view is rotated. So I think that might be a good case use for how that's being used. Otherwise, I can't think of one that I'd use it for, but I just leave it snapped to the view that it was actually created in. And as I rotate it around, you can see the text is legible 180 degrees from the way it was created. Some of the enhancements that you're going to see, I believe this was in 1102, but again, I'm gonna just pick on 12 because I know it's there. You have your collection plane indicator, intersection, direction, and orientation plane indicators. So these are new GD&T options that they've baked into this, so you have better control over your components that are pushed out to PMI. Now, NX is not a magic button. You can't just press the button and everything gets feature control frames automatically. You actually have to know what's being applied with your GD&T. So you have to have some expert that looks over your shoulder, or you have to know what you're doing when you put in the feature control frames. You have weld symbol enhancements. So there's the melt through, penetration, and reinforcement symbols that have been added, and then different weld types with K-groove, stake, and keyhole. And then you have the compound option for the welds that keeps your models really compliant with the current standard. And NX is on top of that all the time,